Starfleet Academy trailer dropped. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of out. Modern Star Trek really has nothing at all for me. At all. And I've given it certainly enough of a chance. Basically since 2009. You've heard me talk about it forever and ever and ever. But this was something I felt, the idea of Starfleet Academy goes back a long way. All the way back to the original series movie producer, Harv Bennett, who took over with Wrath of Khan. And there was always talk of making a Starfleet Academy series. There was a series of Starfleet Academy books. To my favorite Star Trek writers, well, some of my favorite Star Trek writers, Judith and Garfield Reeves-Stevens, wrote a Starfleet Academy novel with William Shatner called Collision Course, which details the first meeting of Kirk and Spock that was infinitely better than J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek movie. They wanted to continue on with those books, but they were curtailed because of those movies. And actually, Otay did, if you go to Otay, they did the Unification film. They did some great work. They interview the Reeves-Stevens, and they talk about the Starfleet Academy books they were doing. Also, there was a storied video game. And what's interesting about that video game is both George Takei and William Shatner cameoed in the Star Trek Starfleet Academy video game.
And now, my close friend and our distinguished guest, Captain James T. Kirk.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Command College. You've just embarked on the most challenging course that the Academy has to offer, and also the most rewarding. It is often said that command school cadets are the best of the best, and it's also said that I commanded the best ship, and the best crew. Truth is, there's no such thing as the best. One ship may be brand new, state-of-the-art, but it also has countless bugs to work out. Another ship may be 100 years old and shake like a rattle, but the bugs are long gone, and that's why she's 100 years old.
And to me, just that small clip represented what I always thought that a Starfleet Academy show should be. I have always been attracted to stories set in schools. Fame, Alan Parker's Fame, which came out in 1980, it was set at the New York School of the Performing Arts, which has subsequently been renamed, but it detailed the 4 years of high school for a disparate group of students coming from all walks of life with all different talents, and showed them moving through those 4 years of school. I love stories like that. I mean, one of the great things about school set dramas is you have an environment that's kind of cut off from the rest of the world. So it's unto itself. And I really like school set shows. One of my favorite shows of all time is the Friday Night Lights TV series that was based off of the film that Peter Berg directed. He later went on to produce the show. And I've often said if someone made a Star Trek series about East Texas football, it would be Friday Night Lights, because it was a show that was about life and the lessons that we learn in life. It wasn't necessarily about football, even though football was at the center of it all, the maelstrom of football. But it was really about, how do you grow up? How do you mature in an environment like that? And when you have great school drama, both the antagonists and the protagonists can be the professors. You know, the professors are the people that you want to impress. The professors are the obstacle. You have to get past the professor. But really, it's about growing up. And, you know, we've had a lot of shows also, fantasy shows and movies that are also school settings. Hogwarts, obviously, being one of the most recent. The X-Men that I dearly love. Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters was sort of the home base of the X-Men, Charles Xavier being that teacher. But obviously the X-Men's kind of moved away from that. You want to go on adventures with superheroes, obviously. But to me, the idea of a Starfleet Academy series was a good idea because I would love to have seen a Star Trek show grappling with the morals and ethical dilemmas that you would find going out into the final frontier. To me, obviously, I'm talking about the kind of show I would want to see. So we got the trailer for Starfleet Academy. Let's just say I was nonplussed. I was unimpressed because it seems that what we saw in this trailer was anything but what a Starfleet Academy show or what a show set in the Star Trek universe about going to an academy would be like. I mean, remember, Starfleet is a quasi-military organization. And like everything else that modern Star Trek suffers from, there was an overabundance of Joss Whedonisms. It seems to me that the people writing Starfleet Academy are more interested in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer of it all, the Joss Whedon of it all. I didn't feel a whole lot of Star Trek was happening there. Hell, I didn't feel like, where was the Goodwill Hunting aspects of it? The Dead Poets Society aspects of it. Dead Poets Society could very well be a movie set at Starfleet Academy. Yet the people writing Star Trek don't look to these things. Movies like Taps or The Lords of Discipline, dealing with what military academies might be like. I was hoping for some of that. Any of that. Unfortunately, that's not what I got. What I got from Starfleet Academy was something that was what I feared. A show. Now here, keep in mind, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm willing to hold off judgment until I actually see the show. But I have the Star Trek that they've been giving me, that Secret Hideout has been making since 2017, and that Alex Kurtzman has been writing since 2009. I have to say that Starfleet Academy looks tremendously disappointing. It's not interested, as in modern Star Trek, none of it's been interested in intellectual pursuits with ideas that are compelling. It just cribs from old Star Trek episodes and offers nothing new, nothing compelling, nothing that makes me want to tune in. Nothing that kept Star Trek alive all of this time. Because Star Trek was imbued with meaning, not just by the writers who wrote it, but by the audiences who took meaning from the show itself. And that's why it endures. And remember, in 2026, Star Trek turns 60 years old. And we've seen, unfortunately, a tremendous dumbing down of the franchise since 2009. You know, Star Trek Starfleet Academy should be, at its core, a show. Sure, it can be an allegorical science fiction action adventure program, yes. But on the other hand, it can be a show that celebrates intellectual pursuits. It can be a show that celebrates how does humanity better itself. Well, where do we begin? Through our educational system. We could have a show that more than ever before is needed. A show about how knowledge is golden. How the pursuit of knowledge, the pursuit of truth. We live in a world where truth is in short supply. But Starfleet officers, that's part of their mandate. And unfortunately, I saw none of that in the trailer for Starfleet Academy. You have to have a big bad. Why do we have to have a big bad? You know what the big bad in a Starfleet Academy series should be? People failing to achieve their potential. That's the danger. You, as Kirk said in this clip, you know, if you're the best of the best, you get to go explore the final frontier. This is not every kid gets a trophy. The people that are at Starfleet Academy are the elite. They are our intellectual and creative and leadership elite. But unfortunately, that's anathema to people today. Star Trek was a show about the best of the best. You had to be the best of the best or you would not survive in the final frontier. Starfleet Academy looks like a show that once again is going to try and affirm everyone, beginning with a story about a character who goes through trauma. Once again, it's more unimaginative, uninspired, and frankly, intellectually bereft material that we've seen 1,000 times before, done better by better writers. Now, it's unfortunate. I shouldn't say it. It's not fair to say that, having not seen the show. But after what I've already seen and after what they've delivered over the last... We're almost at 10 years from the Secret Hideout era's beginning in 2017. I expect better from the people that make Star Trek. Star Trek should be some of the best television that's on. But instead, as we've seen from Season 3 of Strange New Worlds, all they want to do is go back and rewrite classic Star Trek episodes. Take characters they didn't create. Hey, they'll throw 2 or 3 of them in one episode. They've stolen from Star Trek writers. They've stolen from Star Trek novels. They haven't forged their own path. Modern Star Trek is an incredible disappointment. It's I don't know. I want Star Trek Starfleet Academy to be good. I do. There was nothing in that trailer that would convince me it's good. And what is up with that production design? I don't know. But it's too bad because you have hundreds of novels that deal with Starfleet Academy, some of them. You have hundreds of episodes of television, great television, that history has already deemed great. The jury is still out on modern Star Trek. I haven't had the desire to go back and rewatch one episode of Modern Trek because there's nothing in it that's compelled me to go back and watch. It was always done better before.